What are going on, folks? I guess that by now the word is out everywhere. Unless you're living under a rock, by now you would have seen some report somewhere or heard it somewhere, or somebody must have told you that the country's prime minister has basically found himself under the microscope of the country's integrity commission. The anti-corruption agency is now focused on the country's prime minister. Now, one of the problems that we're having in Jamaica is that the minute you utter a sentence that runs against the interest of the party in governance, or any political party for that matter, you are basically going to be branded as a supporter of the other side, or even more, you're going to be seen or made out to be a pariah. The fact is that, Jamaica has been under the radar of the, Integrity Commission for years. They've been under the microscope too of the Transparency International, which has ranked Jamaica as among one of the most corrupt countries in the world. And yeah, a whole heap of man gonna jump out and say, but you live America and America corrupt too. That is true. The fact is, the United States of America has 4 million plus square miles in terms of its size, right? And when you contrast that with a little place like Jamaica that would have lost in the smallest state in the United States, we're in shit street. When the prime minister's declaration that he's required by law to present to the Integrity Commission, when that statement of the Prime Minister's affairs cannot be certified by the Integrity Commission, we have never been down this road before. 60 years, we are now in our 61st year of independence, and we're an embarrassment. Jamaica stands as an embarrassment to the Anglophile Caribbean. It's an embarrassment to every Jamaican, because what the current position that the country's anti-corruption agency is now taking is essentially to say that on the basis of the information that they have dug up, that they have perused, that your prime minister corrupt. Now, me remember when the Holness administration won the election in 2016. I remember that. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember when prime minister was being sworn in and he made some very, frilly and highfalutin statement about being an example. Nothing could have told me then that this is the kind of example that the prime minister would be providing. It has been well documented, well spoken by those who are not afraid to put their voices out there, like myself, that, Jamaica is walking a very fine chalk line in terms of its tendency towards a sort of a totalitarianist type of approach. And now we understand the reasoning behind that. Because unless, again, you're living under a rock, it must become clear that in the 60 or 61 years that we have been an independent country, this Jamaica Labour Party administration, I mean, I say so because me about the PNP, but this administration has demonstrated beyond a shadow of a doubt that when it come to the business of corruption, them take all the prizes. Every single prize. You know, the same prime minister who, with bird speed, removed multiple ministers from different government agencies or government offices and associated agencies. You know, Wheatley, we don't know which part him there after them run him from PCJ. Montague, they move him and put him up the office at the prime minister, among multiple others. So effectively, the prime minister almost is the minister of almost everything in Jamaica, because him basically gelled all of the ministers them who are people who have been fingered in terms of their corrupt practices, and he has taken over those positions. Now, it's important to remember that a lot of the allegations being raised, or the investigation that has been done by the anti-corruption agency, is looking at the prime minister in his role, substantive role, years before, 2009 thereabouts, when he was the Minister of Education. And in fact, they are fingering him for some, as being involved in the award of contracts to the tune of nearly 22 million Jamaican dollars to a company with which his relationships were questionable. Now, as one commentator made a point earlier, if it walk like a duck and it quack like a duck and it shit like a duck, it's going to be very difficult for you not to realize that it is what it is presenting itself as. You know, what is important though is that Jamaicans need to wake up out of this slumber, right? You can't put political organizations ahead of the integrity of your country, because at the end of the day, this figure is who represents us all in the international sphere. And I can tell you, all of the media houses, Reuters, Associated Press, every international media house has a photograph of Jamaica's Honorable Prime Minister under the caption that the Jamaica's Prime Minister under probe for corruption. Whether you want to agree with me, yes or no, that not pretty. And that cannot be a position that as Jamaicans, anywhere you're there, no matter who you support or vote for, but you cannot agree that that is a state of affairs that we should be comfortable with. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. Tell me if you don't think, say, that when me think no make no sense. Tell me if you don't believe that when me say that, you know, the country's prime minister is setting a very bad example as the leader of corrupt practices within the country. Remember, we have Royal Reid, who was also at the Ministry of Education. And clearly, you know, what he has been, it is alleged that he has done, bears very significant relationship to the accusations now leveled at the Prime Minister. So, what are we saying? I've always maintained that crime and murder and so on is a byproduct of a state that is swimming, drowning in corruption. Right? When people question certain people's lifestyle and the sudden coming into of wealth, and there are people out there who say, boy, I grudge man, God, this and that, and Ray. These are the reasons. Because if you're going to do business with international agencies on a government-to-government basis, nobody in the world, no country in the world with leaders of those countries is going to want to be seen in a photograph with the prime minister of a country who is being fingered in circumstances such as this one. Tell me what you think, right? If you like the video, may I ask you to subscribe. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. But in my book, me believe that this is a goddamn shame. So me see it. Me, Mr. B. Let me hear what you think.